After returning to the apartment, Maou started looking for Xenia. She got worried when she didn't show up, no matter how much she called her. Max thought Xenia just went out to go shopping, but Maou replied that she had asked her to look into something. However, Maou set aside this matter when she noticed that Max had been eating all the souvenir snacks they got from Gamma Republic. Then it is revealed that Maou had asked Xenia to investigate the Bureau of Magic, where Fred is working, and she is currently outside their facility. The Bureau of Magic is in charge of producing the kingdom's magic-based energy. It is also where the associated military and political factions are administered, so it is an important government institution. So Xenia thought it made sense that Maou would ask her to investigate the place, and she was determined to accomplish her mission. Xenia moved to the back of the building, then used a grappling hook and a rope to climb the wall. Although some people saw her climbing the wall, they just wondered what she was up to, so she still managed to climb to the rooftop. Then she used a lockpicking tool to open the door, but she actually just broke the lock with her strength. However, a guy who was peacefully having his lunch discovered her, so she had to knock the pitiful guy unconscious. And she spared his life since Maou had taught the demons not to kill humans easily since unlike them, humans only have one life. Xenia ran into another employee after opening the next door, so she decided to travel through the air vent after knocking the guy unconscious again. Xenia's objective was to sneak into the server room and copy their data before returning to Maou. Although she went to the wrong place a couple of times, Xenia still managed to find the server room. Since there was a person inside the room, she took out a tranquilizer blow dart, but she only used it to hit the floor and distract the guy before using her brute strength to knock him out. Afterwards, she easily hacked into the server and started looking for important data to download since it would take too much time to copy everything. While reading the emails, she saw the report about the recent incident when Leo had to repel the kingdom's forces himself. The email contained the plan for their next attack. However, Fred discovered Xenia before she could finish reading the email. Fred asked Xenia what she was doing, but she didn't respond and took out a smoke bomb instead. However, she couldn't escape anywhere, as Fred easily found her and subdued her even before the smoke subsided. Fred handcuffed Xenia, and his subordinate apologized for failing to notice that a suspicious individual like Xenia had sneaked into the building. She then told Fred that she would call the police. However, Fred stopped her and asked her to stay outside the room and prevent anyone from entering. After his subordinate left, Fred started interrogating Xenia. First, he asked for her name. Xenia refused to answer, but she ended up confirming that she was a demon instead. Fred hasn't seen a demon for 10 years, so he was curious where she was living and what her work was. Xenia refused to answer again, but she ended up revealing her name instead. Afterwards, Fred introduced himself, but Xenia refuted that she knew his identity since he was part of the Heroes Party, which was their reviled enemy and the biggest threat to Maou. However, because she mentioned Maou, Fred realized that she came to infiltrate their facility under Maou's orders. Xenia denied it, saying that Maou is still in her slumber and that she came to infiltrate out of her own curiosity. At the same time, Fred realized that he had seen her before. Xenia tried to deny it while saying that she wouldn't let him trick her into spilling more information. However, Fred took out his phone as he realized that Xenia was the naked girl who was chasing Max in the photo attached to the news article. Fred teased her for being bold as she chased Max around the town while naked, so she argued that she just got drunk. Fred pretended that he didn't know Max before asking if he was drinking with him, and when she said yes, he told her that she shouldn't hang around with a lousy, pathetic creep like Max. Afterwards, he asked how she met Max and if that was the only time they met. Xenia said that she couldn't remember how they met, also saying that it was the only time they met, and then she emphasized that nothing had happened between them. But Fred finally got serious and fired his magic beside her to threaten her, before asking what her goal was for trying to get close to Max. He was enraged, as he thought Xenia had some hidden motives, so she was trying to get on Max's good side. However, Fred couldn't get the answer as Lim interrupted him, saying that Minister Grimm's had come to meet him. Fred wanted to continue interrogating Xenia, so he asked Lim to tell the minister to wait. But Lim told him that the minister had something important to discuss and was insisting on meeting him, leaving Fred no choice. Before leaving, he warned Xenia about escaping, also saying that the handcuffs would prevent her from using her demonic powers, unaware that Xenia only rely on her strength as she has no talent on magic. He also reminded Lim not to inform the authorities about Xenia before asking her to keep a close eye on her until he got back. Fred immediately met the minister, who was just busy flirting with the receptionist. Lim didn't know that Xenia was a demon. She couldn't understand why Fred refused to call the police and locked her in his office instead. Although Xenia had already spilled some information, she was determined to hide the fact that Maou had already been reborn, since she would be at a disadvantage if a fight broke out because she hadn't recovered her strength yet. Then, while thinking of ways to escape, she suddenly had the urge to use the restroom. At the same time, the minister was just messing with Fred by using filters while taking selfies he could post on his social media account. Afterwards, he started talking about their past glory before asking how Max was doing. However, Fred told him that they could talk about matters like their past over lunch instead, so he had to cut to the chase. On the way to the restroom, Lim was lecturing Xenia for trying to trespass on government property. Then she helped her pee before bringing her back to Fred's office. Xenia thought that she had to escape before Fred could come back, as she was worried that he would find out about Maou. But she felt terrible at the thought of doing something to Lim, as she was being nice to her to the point that she was feeding her what she wanted. At the same time, Fred and the minister were discussing the Gamma Republic. The minister was contemplating how things got so bad, but Fred was just blaming Leo for defecting instead. The minister was feeling sorry for Leo, as he thought that he had been loyal to the kingdom. And they even agreed that Leo wouldn't accept any bribes and was just being framed by someone. But he was stabbed in the back, so in the end he resorted to defecting from the kingdom. And because of this, it was unavoidable that he became an enemy of the kingdom. The minister mentioned the magic ore mines inside the Gamma Republic, and he thought that Leo had hit the jackpot after discovering them. Then he mentioned about acknowledging the Gamma Republic and absorbing it as part of the kingdom's territory. But they agreed that it would ruin the kingdom's reputation, as they had declared that Leo and his group were a bunch of terrorists. So Fred concluded that the Gamma Republic is destined to fail. However, the minister said that he was actually entertaining the idea of proposing a peace treaty with the Gamma Republic, as a lot of people, including some citizens of the kingdom, sympathize with Leo and the Gamma Republic since they haven't caused any direct harm to the kingdom outside of self-defense. While the community's perception of the kingdom is getting worse since they were attacking one-sidedly. Although they are considering a peace treaty, the kingdom would still not recognize the Gamma Republic as an independent country. They were just willing to make some concessions to settle the mess without turning it into a fight. Then the minister informed him that one other minister had agreed to the peace treaty while he was still trying to convince the rest. Then he asked for Fred's help since he is close to Leo and will play a crucial role. At the same time, Xenia poured the oil on herself to try to slip her hand through the handcuffs. Lim knew what she was trying to do, and since she didn't want to fight Xenia, she tried to convince her to stop trying to escape. However, Xenia didn't listen, and her handcuffs cracked due to her brute strength. Because of this, Lim finally realized that Xenia was not just a dumb girl in costume, and she immediately used her fire magic without holding back after seeing that Xenia was actually a threat. Fred agreed to help the minister while looking reluctant, so the minister teased him for being a chundir. But he finally left after thanking Fred. Meanwhile, Lim successfully trapped Xenia using her fire magic, and Xenia was about to lose consciousness, unable to resist. After the minister's car had left, a bomb exploded at the Bureau of Magic at exactly 4 in the afternoon. And it was in Fred's office, so both Xenia and Lim were engulfed by the explosion. The minister's driver and secretary were shocked and worried after seeing the explosion. However, the minister told his driver to continue driving, as he wanted to hide his involvement, blame it on the Gamma Republic, and pressure Fred. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy this video, and please subscribe so you won't miss the next part. And just comment down any anime you want to see in this channel.